There is an extremist MAGA person that you may be familiar with named Candace Owens, and she was too crazy even for the Daily Wire, which, whew, it means you're pretty crazy. And she went on Piers Morgan, and we've been covering Piers Morgan lately where he's been doing a lot of the Trump apologia, but here he's actually on the correct side of a lot of these arguments, and really a lot of it is him just questioning her, and the questions cause her to spiral out of control in her argument, as you're going to see. But again, Candace Owens worked for the Daily Wire, super far right, and you'll see that come through. Before we get to the two moments that I have most to say about, like her insane take on Russia's invasion of Ukraine and some other things, her attacking Taylor Swift, I do want to play the beginning where Piers Morgan starts it off on a pretty hot note, which is reading the anti-Piers Morgan tweets that Candace Owens has sent out. Here it is.
You are a fascinating public figure. There's no question about that. I think we're going to have a fascinating interview. I do want to go into some more detail before we start, though, to show the level of my generosity in giving you this platform on my show, given some of the stuff you've said about me. So April 2022, when I launched the show with my interview with Trump, it all kicked off, obviously, you said, if my team was unethical and dishonest as the snake Piers Morgan, we'd have sensationally edited this clip of Trump to make it look like he threw a tantrum and asked the cameras to be shut off when in reality the interview was over. We simply wanted to chat off camera. I responded, I bow to your superior knowledge of being a snake, Candace. Tune in on Monday and you'll learn something about real interviews.
I'm just thinking about how 70% of our audience is not subscribed to the channel. Please. We're trying to make it different every day. So today's was that. And please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much.
You then said Piers is whatever he has to be on any given day for attention. He's not guided by any set of principles, which is why I say both sides need to stop platforming his sensationalism. In March of that year, I accused you of falling for Putin's propaganda when he invaded Ukraine, and I called Putin the new Hitler. You said you're such a toddler, Piers, that's way too old to be seriously entering in a literally Hitler analysis. Keep yourself contained to mean tweets about Meghan and Harry while the adults discuss foreign affairs, NATO, and Western...
All right, so you get the point. Some antagonism there in the past. And let's just jump right into this part of the conversation where the unhinged stance of Candace Owens is shown quite prevalently.
Just not answering it quickly enough for you, Piers. So
well,
go
why
ahead
do you
and
want Putin to win?
Nobody, you are pretending that it's because we want Putin to win.
Well, that's the consequence of not helping Ukraine.
It's not about wanting Putin to win. It's about realizing that trying to tell us that this person is worse than this person is a nonsense. We do not support the war for a ton of reasons, because it's money laundering, because it's killing Christians, and because we don't have to.
I understand.
We don't have to.
You made it clear. So why do you want Putin?
It doesn't make you pro...
What?
Well,
no, it does.
That doesn't make you pro-Putin. No, it doesn't. No,
well, who do you want to win the war then?
Pardon?
Who do you want to win the war? Ukraine or Russia?
Well, I don't really view this regional issue
so it's a
that's
war,
going on
Candace.
between
One of them's
Ukraine and
gonna
Russia
win.
as something that I need to involve myself in and be rooting one way or the other. I don't want Zelensky to win. I don't want Putin to win. I do not believe that Zelensky is less corrupt than Putin, just to be clear.
Don't be so ridiculous.
I believe...
Yeah, that's how detached from reality she is on this issue, where she's able to equate. Now, even if she has some wild personal feelings about the individual leaders, how she doesn't understand the concept of the aggressor versus the one defending themselves, and that being a reason that this sort of false equivalency is just absolutely deranged. I don't know how she doesn't get that. And I don't think that she actually necessarily believes deep down what she's saying, because how could she? How could any person with any level of intelligence really make such a statement? But I think she is doing it for reasons that we've talked about before, with the ideological alignment we're seeing with this MAGA contingent of the Republican Party, and that aligning more with the authoritarian regimes across the world. More aligned with them than with Americans in your own country that you disagree with politically. And that's definitely frightening. And then she plays into a bunch, before playing this next clip on a different topic, she plays into a bunch the idea that somehow it's the United States or Ukraine causing this war to continue. So then it is a nice thing to be able to say, to go, oh, well, I'm just for no war. Okay, great, but what's making the war continue? We're all hoping no war will happen, but what's causing it to continue? And that is every day Putin decides to continue invading Ukraine. The second that stops, the war stops. Now, if your solution is to give Putin everything that he wants, and you think that won't encourage him to continue this type of aggression and further destabilize the entire world, I think you're also rational on that point as well. And the way that we discourage Russia, not only from going further, but from continuing here, is showing him there's no way he's going to be successful in realizing all of his ambitions here. And so aid is the step toward peace. Aid to Ukraine is giving them the strength that they need to defend themselves in the powerful way that they need to discourage Russia from continuing, as opposed to facilitating a situation where Ukraine is weaker and Russia's encouraged to now do the things they've been wanting to do, but now it's easier, right? So that's not gonna, the idea that we cut off aid and then all of a sudden the war ends is just ridiculous to think. But then they'll frame it as, well, I don't want either side to win. I want no war. Cool. And I want to eat just ice cream and not have any health repercussions. But we live in the real world, Candace.
Afghanistan.
I agree with
I think we
that.
need to look at Ukraine.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with-
we
I
are
agree
weak
with
right
that.
now. The West is weak right now. And we're weak because we have men that are acting like women. We have journalists that don't have the strength to call out the truth, and they're calling everything a conspiracy theory. We have women who are no longer leading their households, women who are fearful of standing up for their children, the things that they know that are right or wrong, for fear of being called a name. And we need to return to a time where people are guided by faith and by God, and not by governments and the media institutions. We are weak. The West is failing. The West is falling. And the only way that we're going to be able to change that is if we start looking through things through an appropriate lens, right? The truth is that we lost the minute we turned away from faith and the minute that we turned away from God. That is Bible.
Yeah, so I've been talking about this a lot, and it really feels important to me that we bring the conversation back to this often. What we're hearing from a lot of MAGA people is sort of this abandonment of patriotism, right? Now, oh, she's saying the West, but also the United States is weak. Trump says we're a failing nation, a nation in serious decline. That, Don Jr. said that we are an S-hole country now. And their message is that, because they don't really have a vision for how to continue bringing us forward. So instead, their plan for what's ahead is to bring us backwards. And they have this myth, this false nostalgia about what happened back there, and a place back there that, again, is a fictional story where everything was perfect until these liberals ruined it all. And so then the story is we need to go back to that perfect time, when in reality, the steps that are being taken to take us back are so harmful to so many people. And many of the people advocating for going back, if they only knew how much that would hurt them, I don't think they would be advocating for that. And so I think we need to make sure in this moment, when the MAGA message is everything sucks here, we hate it, that needs to be the moment where Democrats take back the label of patriotic. Because patriotism doesn't have to be what we hear some of these Republicans defining it as. Sometimes it's used to distract from, or say, let's not talk about wrongs, historical or present ones. But that's not what patriotism is. Love your country, which also means wanting to make it better and wanting to understand the wrongs to right them. And I think for far too long, Democrats have just been fine with ceding that ground to Republicans. Not the definition I just explained, but just the general, we're the ones who love the country sort of message. And no longer should that be the case, because these MAGA Republicans obviously don't stand for that and don't see what is so crucial about every day striving to embody the American values that I do think make us special, but we characteristically never have fully embodied. And that's why I want to keep striving to do it fully. And the just giving up on that by MAGA And now the belief that maybe a more authoritarian version of this country is what we want should terrify us. But it also is an opportunity to properly characterize the movement that I define myself as a part of as the patriotic one, as the one that loves this country so much that we acknowledge what's so great and also want to make better the things that should be improved on. Here's another moment. And now it's on Taylor Swift.
That's for me. But I want you and your daughter to enjoy the show. I hope you shake and post things on your Instagram. I'd love to see yours twerking about her 39
you
relationship.
Want to see me twerking? I'll twerk for
But
you.
You're not going to turn me into a Taylor Swift fan, because I think even the way she talks is manipulative. She talks like this to her fans. You're a 35-year-old woman. Stop talking like that.
Maybe that's the way she
buy
talks.
into it. It was cute. It was cute when she was 15. I bobbed my head to her stuff when she was, thinking about being 50 and all these breakups. But by the 38th breakup, I'm starting to wonder if it's her, Piers. I'm starting to wonder if it's her.
Who's your idea of a feminist icon in the music business?
Feminist icon. I think feminism sucks, but a woman that is someone.
I think feminism sucks, she says. Interesting. She's had a very successful career. She has made millions in this career pursuit. And it sickens me. Oof. These people who make money espousing the belief that they shouldn't be able to do the thing that's making them money, but that's the thing that's making their money. And so someone like her, again, she's opposed to feminism, the thing that has helped to create an environment where she can espouse these views and make money doing it. It's a sick world out there, especially where she would dare to say what she said about Taylor Swift. I did go to a Taylor Swift concert, and I thought Taylor Swift spoke like an adult, not what this Candace Owens characterization was. And the point about, am I really trying to debunk her point about Taylor Swift? This is not what I'm supposed to do on show, but let me just finish it out. I think it's normal as you go out through your life. Most people, date a few people. And in her particular situation, all of that's public. So to bash it, I don't think it's fair. What if I took a fine-tooth comb to your life? Candace Owens? I don't know if I would like what I'd find. Let me know what you thought of all that in the comments. If you want to get more of this content, you can get members only exclusive content. Not quite as exclusive as Taylor Swift tickets, but pretty exclusive by clicking the join button below.